everybody, welcome to my channel, and today I am bringing you a prediction video for the 26th of January. Yes, it's Australia Day and I had to share it with you guys, hence my flag, upside down flag, you know, representing country in distress, which Australia is. Just to let you guys know that normally Australia Day here is like a celebration of just people coming together. We have barbecues, we have fun. It's one of those days that you just get together and people go swimming, they have barbecues because it's summer here. And it's just a fun day. But no, you got to stamp out the fun. The fun police have arrived in Australia, and yes, in Melbourne, you're not allowed to celebrate Australia Day now because they're calling it Invasion Day, and they're only doing, apparently down there, the Indigenous what do you call them, traditional kind of Indigenous celebrations. So no one's allowed to have fun. So the fun police have arrived in Australia. We knew that was always coming. Places like, we normally have like heaps of Australia Day paraphernalia, you know, it's all a big fun thing. It's just a fun thing. And not allowed to have fun. Kmart and all these big, yes, big corporate have stopped selling all the Australia Day paraphernalia. So it looks like they're starting to stamp a few things out. Fortunately, in my state, I think you can still celebrate it. But Dictator Dan down in Melbourne, Victoria, has, yes, put a stop to anyone having fun virtually. So there's no Australia Day march. There's nothing like that anymore down in Melbourne. So we know where this is all headed, don't we? Hence my flag, guys. So that's pretty much what's happening here in Australia. About nothing, really. I'm just going to have a quiet day. We're going to have a barbecue ourselves today. It's a beautiful sunny day here. I'm very lucky. It's just nice to have just a quiet day. I'm actually going to head to the gym and stay motivated and keep myself mentally and physically strong, ready to face the year, guys. I hope you guys are all going all well out there and getting through your anxieties and your feelings that you've all been having as well, that you've been telling me about the last couple of weeks. Cheers to anyone out there who's having their coffees. Now don't forget also, guys, to comment down below about we're coming up with nicknames for the New Zealand Prime Minister, the new one. Hippo I got and someone else got, and there's a couple more. I've got to go back through all your comments, guys. I will reply to you if I haven't replied to you yet. Don't worry, I'm getting there. I've just got to go back a couple of videos and read all your comments and things, guys. So keep those coming in. And I will get started today and we'll see what comes up. Oh, and did you hear about the FDA is now classing? Yes, they're going to make the CV vaccine a yearly. Isn't that good of them? It's just going to become like the flu jab and you can get it every year. Actually, I did watch something this morning that New Zealand's actually, you guys over there, speaking of New Zealand, just reminded me, you guys actually have been doing some independent studies on the Pfizer jab, and it is showing connections to the myocarditis and kidney problems, I think, as well. So you're doing a few independent studies, so that's very interesting, isn't it? I thought that was a little bit of interesting information, guys, so look into that if you're living in New Zealand. But at least someone's doing some independent studies, because we know that the FDA, APRA, all these health professional places haven't been doing much. Anyway, enough of that. We all know that here. Hope you all went on your big compy surfing safari yesterday. That was pretty funny, wasn't it? We all became these free-spirited surfies yesterday in my video. If anyone hasn't seen that, go check it out. It was pretty funny. And as I drove off here and went to go shopping, I actually passed a compy coming the other way. It was pretty weird. It was a blue compy van. I did giggle to myself. How's the guides? You do have to love their synchronicities and the way that they guide us, guys. All right, enough of me. I'm going to close my eyes. We'll get started and we'll see what comes up. God, they're giving me that Queen song, Thunderbolt and Lightning, very, very frightening. And they're saying with that intense voice, bang, it's all going to hit. Things are going to hit hard now. I said at the end of January, will come February, March, it's on. The reset, rolling out big time. they're showing me it's not just normal carpet. The guides are saying it's like this super tough industrial carpet, because they want this to stay out. They want this rollout just to withstand withstand time. What's that saying? Withstand the length of time, or whatever it is. So that it's like showing me this red industrial carpet that's really tough. That's what I'm getting, and I'm getting that thunderbolt and lightning, because we talked about the rumblings. Was it yesterday? The rumblings of things being talked about and things sort of that thunder in the distance. But now things are going to start to hit really hard, and this will be February. I think we're going to start to see the big shift will start to happen as the government hits hard. People are going to rise up. So this is what they're showing me at the moment, the scales. So if you think of weight scales that go like that, the government's going to hit the people hard, and the people are going to, it's actually like literally showing me like, I guess you could relate it also to a seesaw. This might be easier for some of you. If you were, say when you were little, you'd get on the seesaw with your brother or sister or whatever, or your mum and dad or whoever, and they'd be a lot heavier than you, and they'd hit the ground, and then you'd nearly bounce off, or you would bounce off. You'd spring right up. Well, that's what it's showing me is going to start happening in February. People are going to be like bounced off their, I guess this is probably their current narrative and journey. They're going to be bounced off it, because they're going to start to see that it's all been a lie. They're going to start to find out what's happening. They're going to realise the government's taken them down to nothing, and the whole world's collapsing before their very eyes. So they're going to bounce off the seesaw. I don't even think it's about being like jolted. I think people are going to be actually like tossed off it. That's what I'm getting, and that's why we're getting that thunderbolt and lightning. Sorry, because it's going to hit very, very itchy nose again, guys. What is going on? Well, this must be the truth then, because isn't that what we say here, guys? So we're getting that thunderbolt and lightning. Things are going to hit very hard. Let's see where else we go. Getting Germany protests are back. They're not giving up. They're relentless in their cause in Germany. They're sick of being downtrodden. They're sick of being dictated to. They're unmasked. It's showing me they don't even care if they get seen or arrested, because they're just, the anger in Germany, it's what I'm getting. And can you imagine, guys, we're so frustrated by that whole Greta Thunberg bloody clown show arrest BS that we saw. Can you imagine how the people of Germany feel with her just taking the piss out of them? That's what it feels like to these people. So they're really frustrated, they're really mad, and they're really angry, and they're really rising up into their power and strength. That's what I'm getting for Germany. So that's good. Let's see where else we go. Oh, this is so good, guys. It's saying to me that people, this is the sleepwalkers and the people waking up, things are starting to capture their attention. They're starting to look. It's showing me their heads starting to turn. It's showing me, guys, like one of those clown heads. You know when you go to the fair or you go to your local show or something like that, and you put the ping pong balls in the clown's mouth, and the little clown head rotates from side to side. It goes like this. And you put the balls in the mouth. Oh, God, that sounds terrible. Sorry, guys. And this is what I'm getting. The head's starting to turn. They're starting to have to look. So I'm getting this picture because it's been such a clown show. Maybe that's why we're getting the clown heads. So the clown head is starting to turn because they have to look. They can't not look. This is what's coming in February, March. They're getting dribbles of information now. It's starting to come to them. It's like the ping pong balls going into the mouth of the clown head at the fair. Or the show, whatever you want to call it. The information's starting to pour into them now. They're starting to get the information. Oh, God. I wish it would hurry up, don't you guys? But I am getting that their head's starting to turn. I wish it had turned like you were saying. Who was that saying the other day? Oh, about the head turning in the Exorcist. And the head spins when we're talking about that right round, baby, right round. Oh my God. Sorry guys, I get so muddled up because I read so many comments. Sometimes I just get muddled up, but I did find that very, very funny. That was actually pretty funny. So that's what I'm getting. I bet their heads are going to be spinning when they start to really realise they've been lied to for 3 years. They will be spinning like a bloody poltergeist has taken them over, won't they? So that's what we're getting. We're getting their heads are starting to turn. Oh, fingers crossed. Okay, let's see where else we go. God, for some reason I'm getting the word villages. Hang on a minute, let me see what's happening here. Yeah. Oh, I think that's what the guide is saying. I'm getting that Oxford again in England. They're trying to turn us into these little villages. 15-minute villages, I'm guessing. Because they want to, we know they want to control us all and not have us all moving around. So I am getting that. They want to turn us into these little, see, they might even use the word villages. Like they might be they're not going to say to people, oh, we're doing 15-minute cities and you're not going to be able to leave your city. You're only going to be able to go within that 15-minute radius. They're not going to be able to use that. So they're going to have to use this softer kind of approach to this. And they're showing me that word kind of village. Because if you think of the word village, it's like a little community and it's kind of cute. And you think of the local pub and the little shop and everybody knows each other. It's got this kind of image. But that's the false illusion they're going to try to give to people when they're starting to sell their 15-minute cities, because we know this is starting to happen. It happened a lot during lockdowns. I know it happened here in Australia. We weren't even allowed to travel to the next suburbs and things like that. They even blocked all the roads. You couldn't go anywhere here in Australia. It was ridiculous. And I know it happened to you guys, especially Canada and New Zealand. I know it happened to you guys over there. So this is what they're going to use. They're going to use the softer wording. They're not going to say you can't leave your 15-minute zone. They're going to say, oh, we're going to start to live more like little villages where it's, everyone just helps each other out in their little, we call it zone, but they're going to call them like little villages. So it sounds better. They're going to use a lot of trickery around this, but I think they're going to hit a bit with this year. Their 15-minute city rollout plans. As we know here, it's all they might as well call it the districts off the Hunger Games. If anyone hasn't seen Hunger Games, go and watch it, because it'll be very relatable to what we're all going through. All the elites and all the global leaders in that show live in the place called the capital, which is, only the elites live there. Anyway, go check it out. If you haven't seen Hunger Games, Mockingjay and all that, go look at it. It's on Netflix, I think it is. All right. Let's see where else we go. I'm getting England's rising. I am getting England's rising. That day will come. That day will come. So, like I keep saying, you might not rise up. You're getting a lot of strikes. And thanks, guys, you give me the feedback there. I know you're getting a lot of strikes. So strikes are a way of people fighting back against government because they're starting to see the injustice. But I do feel after this coronation, because we know there'll be extra security, it'll be all really difficult. I think after the coronation, that's when people are going to be heard, because they're not going to be happy about being downtrodden. See, the coronation, and we know that, as I always call it, the royal Kardashians, is a big, massive distraction that Sushi and all his mates can use while they sneakily implement and get things already in the background. We know that's what they do. We know. Oh, it makes you sick, doesn't it? And then it's like implemented and it's too late. But that's why people stand up and people will fight back, because they know that they've been trod on. God, I wish they'd know it now. It's only been 3 years of being trod on. Sorry, I was going to have some water. Won't that be a circus, the coronation? They're already talking about, is Harry going? Is Harry invited? Is Harry not going? God, it's so exhausting. You guys must get sick of it over there. The magazines must just be relentless, just royals. All right, let's see where else we go. I'm getting China. I'm getting China's being like really unforgiving against anyone who stands against them. China, the energy I'm getting for China is like they get a set on people. These are the global elite leaders in China. They get a set on countries. Like if a country doesn't agree with them or doesn't comply with their wishes, they get a set on them. And they will focus on them more. I'm just getting that. Oh, so maybe it's not so bad that Elvo was shaking hands with, is it Xi Jinping? Keep him on side. Maybe that was the plan all along. But I am getting that China holds grudges. Xi Jinping would be, and all these little pals hold a lot of grudges against specific countries. Because they don't like to not be taken seriously. It's like I say all the time. They want to be on the top of the pedestal. They want to be on the top of the pyramid. They want to be seen as the biggest, most dominating country in the world. That's just what I keep getting. So they do hold grudges against other countries. I think we know that they do. Look at his little conversation with Trudeau that time when Trudeau leaked out their private discussion. He wasn't happy at all, was he? It's pretty funny though. So I am getting that for China. I'm still getting that China's marching forward. But see, China's marching forward in a political way. They're not marching forward in war. I just don't see it. They march forward using their strength and power in a political way. Again, it's about commodities trade. Who's got, the most value. Like who's got the things that are of value. And China likes to be right up there when it comes to holding all the value in its hands. And that's what I'm getting for China. Meaning that they are needed to the rest of the world. They like to have, again, it's that commodities. They like to have things that people or other countries rely on. Because that's how they hold power. Let's see where else we go. I'm getting New Zealand, and I'm getting this Chris Hopkins. Keep those names coming in, guys. He's come through the back door. I'm getting that they're showing me him, and he's come through the back door. He slipped in through the back door. So I feel, personally, he was always waiting in the wings. I feel like this has been a giant setup. Hang on a minute. Yeah, they're showing me this sign. They're showing me this visual of him like bumping her out, like using his hip and bumping her out. He bumped her off. Not bumped her off, literally. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? I bet a few people in New Zealand wanted to bump her off. But he's pushed her out. It's interesting, isn't it? It's a bit complicated over there. Hang on a minute. That's just what I'm getting. I'm just getting shown that visual that he's pretty ruthless, this guy. It's saying he harbours a bit of resentment towards her. I'm wondering if something happened way back like years ago, if there was some incident or something happened between the two and she got put above him. There's just an imbalance of their relation, that it's a relationship, but their connection. There's like an imbalance there that he always felt beneath her and he's never liked it. That's just what I'm getting. Maybe she used to kind of talk down to him. I don't really know what their roles are over there, but I do feel like he always felt beneath her and it's always bothered him. That's just what I'm getting. I don't think she was that nice to him. She wasn't nice to anybody, was she? So that's not surprising, is it? I think he's always, this guy, Chris Hopkins, I think it is, he's always felt like the shadow. And it's like now he's emerging into his like body. Like he's morphing into his actual human body. That's what I'm getting. Oh, I hope he's not a reptilian. That's conjuring up a really weird image, isn't it? That he's always been like background person, like in the shadows. And now he's like morphing into his body. That's just the words the guides are giving me. I don't know, just saying. You guys might be able to shed more light on that if you're living in New Zealand. Let's see where else we go. I'll leave that at that. God, that's really weird, isn't it? Oh, no. Okay, hang on a minute. It's saying, and what they're saying about him is he's not a natural born leader. He's got to really work at it. He's got to really work hard. He's got to work hard to win the people over. That's what they're saying. Because that's not going to be an easy task. It's like I keep saying to you guys, people are going to stand up because the minute he comes out with anything that's to do with the reset or whatever, people are going to stand up because they're not going to take it anymore. We keep getting that song, We're Not Going to Take It. I don't know who sings it. I think I got that wrong the other day, guys, but you know me. So I don't see people just sitting there taking it. So don't panic, guys, if he does start to do silly things because you're not on your Pat Malone there. There's a lot of people rising in New Zealand. There is. It's great. But he's got to work really hard to win over the people. And that's not going to be easy in New Zealand, especially after what you guys have been through. Let's see if there's something else to close with today. Oh, I'm just getting this saying, like, prevention is better than cure. So this is around a lot of subjects. The guides are saying to me this is around the jab. So if you can prevent it, like, you know, get natural sunlight, vitamin D, take vitamins D, Z, not D, Z, oh my God, vitamin D, zinc, and vitamin C, things like that. You know, there's a lot of ways to prevent the CB virus other than just the pincushion. So, you know, what's the point of it all after the fact is kind of what the guides are saying. Like, people look for that quick fix, but that's not always the cure because they end up getting it anyway. We know heaps of people, all of you out there, we all know people who have had it 2 and 3 times who are jabbed to the hilt and get really sick. So prevention is better than cure. And I'm also getting that around the reset as well. And see, this is why I guess a lot of us want people to wake up because we're trying to prevent the rollout from happening, their industrial rollout carpet. We want to prevent that from happening because how do you cure that after the fact? You know, that's another thing. How do you fix it? How do you cure? Like, how can you go backwards? How do you fix that? So we're getting this prevention is better than cure today, which is around a lot of subjects, not just one thing. That's just a little quote, a little saying I'm getting from the guides today. Hang on a minute. And the guides are saying you prevent it by not enabling it. So, it's so frustrating, guys. Like, we know that, but how do you get these people, you know, I know that the $1 million question that you guys would be asking me too is how do we get them to wake up and to start the fight back and see it? But they are. Hang on a minute. Yeah, and the guides are saying you stop the enabling by fighting back. You fight back. We did, and no one believed us, did they? Anyway, let me see what there is to close with today. And the guides are just saying to me, we are rising up. Like, we've already gone through our awakening process. Most of you here, if you're on my channel, you're awake. You're seeing things very clearly now. You're aware of what's going on around you. Aware of what government, doctors, and all the mainstream media and all the lying. Look at America. Oh, my God. Is it McCarthy? At least he's calling out the BS. He's a big BS detector, I think, guys, over there. He is calling out some really serious stuff. And it's great. Because it puts the spotlight on the lies, deception. How classified documents did Biden have in his house? Ridiculous, and it goes back years and years. It's just becoming the biggest circus show. At least it is entertaining to watch, guys. But you know the funniest part is I love watching that, what's her name, Pierre or whatever her name is, his spokeswoman with the dark curly hair. Ugh. How's her answering those questions to the media guy, Peter? I do laugh my head off. He asks her all the time, what's going to happen? And she refers him to the White House Council or something. It all just pass the buck. And no one ever gets held accountable or anything. But I think they will, actually. I keep saying I think there's a hearing. Because this is getting just to the rabbit hole, as she always says in her videos when she's being questioned. It's getting too deep. It's just going on and on and on. It's like there's no end to it. It's so complicated. That whole Hunter Biden thing is getting more and more complicated. It just goes on and on and on. Anyway, but that's the example. That's what I'm saying. It's so obvious now, the lies and corruption and the deception and how the media lies, and just getting back to, that's what, and that's what we've seen all along, guys. It's very frustrating, isn't it? Hang on a minute. Oh, God, I'm getting Wonderwall, I'm getting Gautier. Do you know Gautier? He's such a good singer. I mean, he plays good music too. Hang on a minute, I'm getting the jukebox. You know what they're like with me. Oh, I'm getting a beautiful song today. Oh, to finish off, and maybe it's something that we just need today, but they're talking about that song by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, The Power of Love, and they're just saying that power of love has a frequency and a vibration that is untouchable to that real negative darkness. So today we've just got to really focus on ourselves, and this comes back to that loving ourselves, like I said the other day with Mariah Carey, being a hero to ourselves, and just loving ourselves. We keep getting that song too, I'm getting by Whitney Houston, learning to love yourself is the greatest gift of all, whatever that song is. But that's what I'm getting, that power of love. The power of love has an incredible frequency, and we have to keep staying and rising in our power. But don't worry, the guides keep saying these people are starting to find themselves again, because that's what the Great Awakening and the shift is. It's about people finding themselves again when they've been so lost in life. That's what it is. It can be painful too. A lot of us here, anyone who's been through dark night of the soul or depression, suicidal thoughts, we know how painful that is. It's unbelievable. So I'm getting that Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That's a beautiful song. I love that song. Oh. So we have to stay in our strength with that vibration of love is what I'm getting today. Hang on a minute. God, I'm just getting a message from the guides that like they're delivering guidance to us. We are being divinely guided. If you're on my channel, you're being divinely guided what to do. I know, guys, and I get it. Sometimes you don't know what to talk to people about it. Like, do you put a bit of a seed out and plant some information on your Facebook pages? Like, what do you do? But what the guides are saying is you've got to listen to your gut feeling. If you think, oh yeah, I can put that out, that's not going to really upset people, or oh, that's pretty light-hearted, I could do that. Listen to your gut feeling. The guides are saying it's very important now moving forward that we listen to our gut feelings, our signs, our synchronicities, our intuition. That's why we're living in these different vibrational places. We're coming from different vibrations because we listen to our whole body. We're not just looking and just listening with our ears. We're using all our senses, and that's what the guides are highlighting to us today, to keep living from that space, because that's the guidance. We're being divinely guided on our path moving forward, especially this year. I did say we're going to still be the free spirits cruising around in our compy van all together, staying detached and still cruising like through all this garbage and BS, I guess you could say. Hang on a minute. God, I'm just getting that song again. So cute. We are family. I got all my sisters and brothers with me. I'm getting that we are family. So we're becoming like a united family. This is all us freedom fighter, braveheart biker, maverick rebel, free spirit. Oh God. Oh, BS detectors. I was trying to get all that out in one mouthful then, guys. We're still becoming like this big blob movement that's just coming together with more and more like-kind people that are like that blob movement rolling along, and people are sticking to it. That's what I'm getting. I'm just getting it's still growing. Don't think we're just stagnant, because we are becoming like family. You know, we're getting closer and closer and closer. Hang on a tick. I'm getting for the sleepwalkers that they're getting really scared. They're getting really scared. On the news this morning here in Australia, they actually talked about interest rate rises again, and they said there could possibly be 3 more. I personally feel there'll be like 6. I reckon there'll be heaps more. But that's got to scare the crap out of people, knowing that there's another 3 interest rate rises. I told you we've already had 8 last year. 8. And now there's more to come. That's terrifying for people. You know, oh, it's just nuts. Hang on a sec. God, they give me so many songs all at once, guys. Sometimes I can't sort them out. They kind of go, it's like they flash song after song after song, and I can't like grab one out. It's like, you know how the arm of the jukebox goes in and grabs out a song? Well, they don't do it at that pace. They just go, and it's just sheer luck if one happens to drop into my head. Sometimes they drop in really clearly. Hang on. I'm still getting that Olivia Newton-John song, We Have to Believe We Are Magic. Oh, I get that all the time, and nothing can stand in our way. So we have to know that we're still safe moving forward, and that there's nothing in our way. We've still got this clear path. And they're giving me this song. When I went to my freedom marches, and I've got to share it with you guys, because you know what it's like. I know most of you have been in protests and marches, and especially in Ottawa, Canada. I know there's a lot of you over there. New Zealand too, England, everywhere. God, it was a worldwide global event, wasn't it? I told you about the John Farnham song, You're the Voice. If you want to check that out, that's one of our protest songs. But there's also a song called True Blue. I can't think of the guy that sings it. Hey, True Blue, is it me and you? Is it Mum and Dad? And it's a song, it was a song, I think it was written about the war times. I think it was about the Anzac heroes, or it was something about, well, it's pretty much just an Aussie icon of a song. It's like one of those songs, like, sort of like we used to have Waltzing Matilda, it's a bit like that. I can't think of the guy that sings it. Hey, True Blue, is it me and you? And it just reminds me of that. And I'm going to leave you with that song today, guys. I have got a video actually, and that song's actually playing in it, that I took at the protest. So look, I'm going to leave it over here, guys, that video of, and you'll hear the song in the background. And it was just such a great vibe and a great feeling. And I hope that someday people, the sleepwalkers and people waking up, actually go through that, and they do stand up and fight for their freedom and their rights. So I'm going to leave you with that song today. Oh, I wish I could think of his name. It's such a beautiful song. Look, I will leave it on my Facebook page, Chrissy Fitzgerald Psychic Life Coach, if anyone's interested in listening to that. I just think it's a really appropriate song for Australia today, because we need to come together and just really unite now and start to make changes so our flag isn't upside down anymore, and we're not a country in distress like all of us globally. So I'm going to say goodbye for Australia. That's enough from me. I'm going to go head off to the gym and go and have a barbecue. Lucky I don't live in Victoria, Melbourne, or there'd be none of that going on. It'd only be the Indigenous smoking ceremonies that are allowed in pretty much Melbourne now. All right, well, and I have nothing against that. They can do that too. We can all celebrate in our own ways. Isn't this supposed to be, you know, everybody starting to get on and everything? But see, this is exactly what happens, isn't it? It's our governments that cause the divides. It's so obvious to us, isn't it, guys? Anyway, enough of my frustrations. Take care. Have a wonderful day. I'll say goodbye from Australia. Thanks heaps for watching me, guys, and commenting. You know I love hearing from you. Hit those like buttons, guys. Feel free to let me know what nicknames you want for the New Zealand Prime Minister, incoming Prime Minister. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye, everyone.